Ladies and gentlemen, this is the IM9 Math Lab Procedures video where I'll outline all of the student responsibilities and requirements that you'll need to make sure you take note of when you're working on MATHia this year in IM9. So please take a minute to jot down each and every procedure on your student checklist and use this checklist to refer to throughout the course of the year so you know that you're meeting all your student responsibilities in IM9 when you're working in MATHia. All right, ladies and gentlemen, step one, get your assigned computer and binder. So your computer will be assigned to you and it'll be on a particular computer cart. So you're going to want to make sure you find the proper cart and grab your proper computer number. Should you choose to keep your binder on the classroom bookshelf, please grab that at this point in class as well. Couple words of caution here. Do not take another computer if your computer is missing. Let me know immediately if you go to the computer cart and your computer is not there, or if there's any damage to your computer that you did not recognize from the last time you used your computer. It's absolutely essential that you let me know at the beginning of the class period so we can take care of any business and not waste any precious work time on finding materials or hunting down any other items. All right, step two, as you log into your computer, check the board for warm-ups. We might not do warm-ups every single day, but most days we'll do warm-ups. Some warm-ups will be collected and graded, others will just be collected, and some you'll just hold on to. Each and every one of these warm-ups will be used as a practice or a review for a quarterly assessment. The material from this assessment will come directly from the warm-ups that we practice each and every day. So it's going to be important that you take your time to practice the skill in the warm-up and put your best effort into it. Some of the topics you'll see on the warm-up will be material that you should have already mastered prior to starting IM9 this year. For example, some topics might include solving equations, working with integers, fractions, graphing equations. We'll add to these skills as we get throughout the course of the school year, as we get more exposure and practice to math in MATHia or in the MP unit. But again, some of these will be graded and all of them will be used for a quarterly assessment that will count towards your IM9 grade. All right, step three, check your email. It's going to be important that at the beginning of the class, as you're finishing your warm-up, you go ahead and you check your email. Some days you might not get an email from me. Some days you might see announcements, or you might see an invitation to a small group lesson, enrichment practice, or extra study. And you'll want to make sure that you get that invite so you can get that practice. Step four, we're finally going to log into MATHia. So after we've collected our materials, we've completed a warm-up, we checked our email, now is when you're going to go ahead and you're going to log into MATHia. Step five, you're going to log into the 8th grade math Google site for note guides, because the first thing you're probably going to see when you log into MATHia is a lesson. You're going to need to read through the lesson. You'll need to take notes. So I'm going to provide you with a note guide, a very detailed and specific outline note guide. And to access the note guide, you can go to tinyurl.com/fp8math. You'll click on IM9 and then you'll click on note guides. From there, you'll pick your module in your section and you'll get a note guide that's specifically outlined and detailed for that lesson. It's going to be very important that you take the time to follow the note guide, put some thought and effort into reading the lesson, taking down notes. These notes you can use on the summative assessment at the end of the module. So you're going to want to make sure that you have these great notes. This is also an exit ticket. So before you can take that summative assessment, you'll have to show me that you have notes for each and every section of MATHia, that MATHia module. Step six, you'll actually begin practicing MATHia. So now that you've taken notes and you've read the lesson, you're going to actually do some math. Use those notes to practice the MATHia. Another piece of advice that I have for you, as you're practicing MATHia, you might want to add to your notes because, again, as I said, you can use these notes on the summative assessment at the end of the module. Step seven, after you've finished a section, you're going to need to complete a formative assessment. You'll need to complete this formative assessment in pencil. It's very important that you complete this formative assessment independently and you complete it honestly and accurately to the best of your ability. So to get the formative assessment, you'll go to tinyurl.com/FP8math. You'll click on IM9 and then you'll click on the formative assessment link. From there, you'll find your module and your proper formative assessment that you need. Again, you need to complete it in pencil and you need to complete your formative assessment independently. Step 8. You're going to correct your formative assessment in pen. So now that you've completed your formative assessment in pencil, that's your original work, now you need to go back with a pen and correct it. You're going to go to the same Google site, tinyurl.com/FP8math. From there, you'll click on Formative Assessment Answer Key. Again, I need to stress that it's very important that you correct your work accurately and honestly. So just by erasing your correct answer and writing in the right answer, that's not going to help you prepare and get ready for the summative assessment at the end of the module. Step 9, turn in your formative assessment to the basket. You want to get credit for all the work that you just did and corrected. It's going to be very, very, very important that you put your name on it. And I'll also need the module and section that the formative assessment is of. So when I get your formative assessment, I'll know who it belongs to and what formative assessment it is. So you'll want to make sure that you include all of that important information on there so you get all the correct information and you get your credit when you deserve it. Step 10, you just finished your module. You think you're ready to post-test. You need to check in with me. So as soon as you finish your module, you'll check in with me. You'll bring me your notes and your formative assessments. We will have a conversation. We'll double check, make sure you're ready to post-test. If you need extra practice, I'll give you extra practice. If you need extra lessons, we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation about what you might need more work or practice in. Here's a really important thing to remember, ladies and gentlemen. You absolutely, positively must post-test in class. This is not anything that you can negotiate. You'll start and you'll finish the post-test in class. The post-test might take you more than a day to finish. So each and every question, everything that you do must be completed in class. I need to know before you're post-testing, and I need to know when you're finished post-testing. We'll talk a little bit more about these procedures as it gets to post-testing time, but you need to know that you have to post-test in class. That's absolutely a non-negotiable. All right, step 11. Once we have a couple minutes left of the class period, you've completed MATHia, you've taken your notes, the bell's going to ring in a few minutes. As you're powering your computer down, you will complete a space reflection entry. The space reflection entries are entries that you will get some lessons on in the very near future. I will occasionally collect them. Occasionally they'll be scored and assessed. But it is an important part of our math curriculum that you take time to reflect on all of the math that you've learned and discover some of the things that you can make connections to in our math program. So we will do this perhaps daily, maybe we'll do it once or twice a week, maybe we'll do it weekly, but we will complete a space entry and some of them will be collected and graded. All right, it's the end of the hour. It's very important that you return your computer to the proper computer cart, to the proper position in the cart, and you securely plug it in so that computer can get charged up and is ready for the next student who needs to use it. So it's essential that you do that. Also, if you're going to decide to keep your binder in the classroom, you need to find your proper bookshelf. You need to neatly and organize in very organized fashion put your binder back on the bookshelf. So tomorrow in class, you'll be able to find all of your supplies and we won't waste any time looking for materials. Last but not least, step 13, please refer to the 8th grade math Google site for the MATHia pacing guide. You'll go to the same Google site or the same tinyurl, tinyurl.com/FP8Math to get this guide. You'll click on IM9 and then you'll click on MATHia Pacing Guide. Ladies and gentlemen, it is absolutely essential that you keep up and you maintain this minimum pacing. I also want to stress that there's no reason to get much further or to go faster through the curriculum that's set by the pacing guide. There's no advantage to going through material more quickly. So please follow the pacing guide, maintain the minimum pace. You'll need to figure out and come up with some sort of scheduling situation so you can make sure that you can maintain this pace when you're in class. Some students find that their class period is enough time to maintain the minimum pacing. Some students find that they need to work outside of class to keep this pacing up. But ladies and gentlemen, I will tell you this, if you meet the pacing guidelines, you will not need to work on MATHia when you're working with Mrs. Bachhoven or Mrs. Schills in the MP portion of IM9 in math class this year. So it's going to be important that you go ahead and you can maintain this pace. I would like to thank you for watching and listening intently to this video that's going to demonstrate all of your student responsibilities in IM9 this year. Please let me know if you have any questions.